Would you date someone with zero sexual or romantic experience? Why or why not? Everyone has to start somewhere. I wouldn't discriminate. I feel like I'd be too tempted to be like, don't worry, it's completely normal for me to leave the tip of my finger in your belly button the entire time. Of course. I'm not about to pass up the chance to have someone say you were the best I ever had and have it be factually accurate. It was the best of sex, it was the worst of sex. He drinks a whiskey drink, he drinks a vodka drink. He sings the songs that remind him of the good times. He sings the songs that remind him of the better times. Yeah, then we'd have something in common. You're gonna have to compete with the rest of Reddit. Except all the players over there at r/IHaveSex. Those are some real vaginal intercourse experts. Yeah, I really love boobs. They feel just like bags of sand. They do? Cool. My partner and I were each other's first real relationship, so we were both pretty inexperienced. I personally think it was really nice that we had the opportunity to figure out what we liked together. Smile. Same here. We were also each other's first, and we're young and inexperienced. Now we're old and inexperienced. At least you're both still on the same page. After all, sex is not something you gain, it's something you explore. Sure, I could probably lead them into believing that my pee-pee is the right size. Gotta play the long con, 'cause I ain't got a long dong. Nailed it. You ain't struggling for dates with banter like that. Nailed it. Don't say that immediately after unless it's the second date. Yes, everyone's gotta start somewhere. Of course. I'm attracted to the person, not their sexual experience. Plus, that might even be interesting. It's the lack of relationship experience that would stop me. I know perfectly reasonable and mature people with little to no relationship experience, and people with plenty of relationship experience who are insane, immature, whirlwinds of a person. I know which kind of person I'd rather date. So, you date a tornado, then? Asking for a friend. Sure, don't see why not. I've never resented teaching. I've seen videos like this on a very special website. I love Skillshare. They have classes taught by masters in their field. It's amazing. And they'll give you a 10% discount with code ZUTALOR. I made a throwaway just to answer this, so that you can hopefully feel better about yourself. I lost my virginity at 25 to one of the sweetest and most attractive women I've ever met. She was 26 at the time and had a fair bit of experience when it comes to relationships. She was one of those girls that are basically never single. We went on a date, had an amazing time. I told her I had very little experience, but I never actually told her I never even kissed a girl. I walked her home. When she saw I was hesitating, she basically subtly told me to kiss her and then invited me upstairs, and we eventually ended up having sex. I went from a guy who had never kissed a girl to a guy who had sex in a matter of hours. 10 years later, married with 2 kids, still have sex almost every day, and according to her I am the best lover she has ever had. There you have it. Some people don't really give a crap about experience. Edit. Well, thanks for the awards, strangers. Didn't expect this comment to blow up. Edit 2. Some people seem to be really invested in the frequency married people have sex and are twisting my words. Sure, I wrote almost every day. What I meant is 3 to 4 times a week. Plenty enough, I think. That was not the point of my post though. Ultimately it's Reddit, believe what you want, I just tried to share my experience with op. That's super wholesome. As a 30-year-old virgin, this gives me some hope. Lol. 26 turning 27, this post gives me hope too, haha. I'm 26. Count me in. A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. You guys should go on a date. All of you, a threesome. Hey, you need to be there with them too for moral support. I don't really care since you can always learn and get better. People should never expect to have the best sex with someone the first time they have sex, it takes practice. Sexy is like pizza, it's always good in a way. even when cold the next morning. Sex is like pizza, even when it's bad it's still pretty good. I know it's been said a few times but I first came across it in a movie over 20 years ago. All I remember about the movie is that line and that the guy who said it might have been blonde. I don't even remember what movie it was. No. My wife wouldn't like it. Lamau. There are always a real gems in the comments. I started dating a 31-year-old woman when I was 26. She'd never even been kissed, and just didn't seem particularly interested in a love life. Nonetheless, she was willing to let me take her out. 4 months later, she was no longer a virgin. 6 years later, we've lived together for 4 years and are engaged to be married. She's the best kiss and the best sex I've ever had. She's not the dirtiest sex I've ever had, but the emotional connection overrides everything else when we're in the moment. It's amazing how much attachment can contribute to the quality of the sex. She's also the most easygoing partner I've ever had, and it's the relationship I've had to work the least at to make it functional. Because of her stability and maturity she already had by getting to 31 with total independence, she was an ideal partner and our lives meshed together effortlessly. Sure, it could have gone the other way, she might have been super clingy and emotionally retarded, but as fate would have it, she was the perfect woman for me. Don't discount someone with no experience, they might surprise you. Maturity plays a big role in relationships. I am currently 2 years into a relationship with someone who had no previous relationships and no sexual experience. Hands down healthiest relationship and best sex of my life. I was never bothered by his lack of experience, just surprised that such an amazing person could be single for so long. I adore him and very much hope that he will be the one. Of course. If I truly like them for their personality we could get through the sexual stuff together. Also, just because someone hasn't done something before doesn't mean they can't be great at it. Just because someone hasn't done something before doesn't mean they can't be great at it. I think that's what some people are missing in this thread. They seem to be thinking that if someone hasn't been in a relationship before, they must somehow be bad at relationships. I agree with you. Engaging in sexual or romantic acts could be compared to any other skill that requires practice. It might take patience at first but after practice and communication with one's partner it hopefully becomes more comfortable. Sure. I date a person I feel romantically connected to. Their experience is largely irrelevant. If I'm attracted to someone, I'll give it a shot. Same. Denobadop seems obsessed with not having sex at age 24, at a point it's mentally hurting him based on his account. All his posts are SMH related to how he's eligible but never gets sex, like duh, you don't need sex to be accepted. Yeah, people will always judge you but bro if everyone in your friend circle judge for who you're and consider having sex with mature, bro you should change your friends cause believe me they'll always let you down. There are many other things to do in life other than sex and don't let that one thing pull you down and probably I'll sound bitter but you should consider seeking therapist before things gets worse. Also as a friendly opinion never let I'm virgin at 24 thoughts pull you down it will just makes things worse for you and only you. Damn, what a ride his post history is. He basically sees no meaning to live other than to have sex. No sex equals not worth living. Wow. I cannot fathom that line of thinking, but well, it's his life. Yes, because I believe no one should be rejected from entry-level positions due to lack of experience. If only employers thought the way you do. These days you need 3 years of experience to push a fucking cash register. Asking a bunch of redditors as if they aren't virgins themselves. Yes, why? Because I am a virgin that has never been in a relationship either so why would I judge someone for being in the same boat as me? I used to think just like you, until I first had sex. Well, I am happy that she had experience, because I don't found that easy. I mean it either way, or we both fumble around and can have a laugh about it, or she kinda guides me. Well, if this thread has taught me one thing is that I'm not telling anyone about my sexual inexperience when I start dating. I'm in my 30s and never had sex. I have had a lot going on in my life. I was always busy taking care of my health or the health of those I loved. I never lacked attention from the opposite sex, and I'm actually fairly good at the first stages of a budding romance. I just never got past the first steps because at first I felt like I still had some things to figure out, while later in life, I didn't feel comfortable due to my inexperience. Lately, I've been looking to start dating because my health issues are starting to wane and I have too much love to just keep it to myself, my family or friends. I'd also love kids at some point in life, my own or adopted. It's not easy to be confident in who you are when you feel judged by society for your life choices and your life path until this point. Still, I try to be, and I'm sure that I'll find someone once I put in the effort. I won't tell them beforehand about my sexual inexperience though, that much is obvious after reading this thread. I hate how so many people think that you can't be emotionally mature or that there's something wrong with you if you haven't had sex at a certain age. Honestly, fuck off. I wouldn't want to date those people either. I'm looking for someone kind and open-minded anyway. Someone who is open and understanding to the path I have walked thus far. Yeah, sure. I care about the personality,